Hello, this is CJ. This is the Move to Push Men's Group, and we are here to create and facilitate men's friendships and become better men. So I usually throw out a couple topics to start with, but before I do that, we were having a kind of a pre-recording conversation. Robert's joined us, somebody I've known for a while, and he's known by some of the other men in the group. So I liked what you said about taxes. If you just make less money, then you won't have to worry about paying that much. But in our self-improvement, we're seeking to make more money. So I suppose that's one of the
Okay, let
problems
me
that
make
comes
a
with
note
that.
of that first of all.
Yeah,
Make more
well,
money.
yeah. How's that for a cutting edge inspiration? So anyway, we talk about fitness on here a lot, and I do have one note I took earlier in the week that I thought was interesting. This YouTube creator was talking about exercise snacks. So little things you do to get some exercise, usually just for a couple minutes, but it can be anything from walking fast to somewhere to playing with your kids or your puppies or whatever gets your heart rate up. If you can do that a few times a day, that's nearly as good, if not as good as a like a 45-minute workout. That's what this creator said. Now, that may or may not be true. I don't know, but I've tried to add that kind of thing to what I'm doing already to my workouts, just because, I sit in front of this computer most of the day, and that's not good. So I try to break up my day and I've talked a little bit about it before, but exercise snacks is the slang term I'm going to use. So I'm curious if anybody does anything like that or finds that interesting, and I will throw it open to the group.
Yes.
All right. Yes. What do you do?
No, I find that interesting. Well, as you know, fitness is a topic
Mm.
that I am interested in and involved in. So it's for the guys that don't know me here. Yeah, I'm a fitness industry photographer and videographer. So I've been in that world, you know, for not my whole career, but many decades. And I myself have been into fitness one way or the other my whole life. So I'm a big believer in that. And even red wine is always a good fitness snack because it's got resveratrol, which is which is good for your health and your heart, in case you don't know that, versus
That's
white wine.
that's more of a literal snack, but that's okay.
That's right.
Any any new information that's useful, we're open to that.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I would.
I think about it quite regularly. I think about jumping on the exercise cycle for 5 minutes regularly.
Mhm.
Don't do it very often, but I think about it.
Mhm.
But the
I
idea,
find
same idea, just doing something little regularly. Yeah.
But
I finally got a
something like
watch
rice
to
cakes I
remind
like
me.
with peanut butter.
Wait a second. We had Robert and Paul talking at the same time. Let's let
Go
Paul
ahead,
talk. Go ahead,
Robert.
Paul.
Oh, I finally got a watch to remind me to get up every hour.
There you go. I do that on my cell phone, but same concept. All right. And then Robert, what were you saying?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good fitness snacks that I enjoy, but just like a good one for me is something like rice cakes with peanut butter, or even rice cakes with peanut butter and then some slices of banana, because then you get, the rice cakes is a little bit filling. It's a minor carb, but it's low in carbs. The peanut butter is considered a relatively healthy fat. I personally like the way it tastes. Something like that can keep me going. Sometimes what I'll do early in the morning, if I want a little bit of food in me, but not like a big meal before I do something, I just put some peanut butter onto banana because again, it's that same concept of peanut butter is the good fat. Gives you a little bit of protein, a little bit of energy. Same with the banana. So those are a couple of my easy go-to things that come to mind right away.
All right. Well, Robert's again talking about actual snacks, but that's okay.
Yeah.
So
Oh, well, I thought we were talking about actual snacks, no?
that's all
Short
right.
little spurts,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm?
Yeah. I was talking about originally exercise snacks, little short-term exercises, but
Oh,
what you said
exercises. Oh,
is useful as well. So
okay. Well, when you threw in the word snacks, it threw me off. All of a
yeah,
sudden, I'm into.
probably, yeah, it's not a common term. I hadn't heard it
Okay.
before, and so
Ah, all right. In that case, I will throw out some exercise snacks.
all right, let's go. Now we're
Yeah,
getting.
so that's something I
And you
do.
can't say anything about fishing, okay?
Well, I mean, I feel it's important to get some form of movement of exercise, not only every day, but throughout the day. So
Mhm,
I mean, it's sometimes as simple as instead of parking at the closest spot to the door in the parking lot, park further away. You're going to get a little bit more exercise just coming and going, to the supermarket because a lot of people are like fighting to get those spots really close. So instead, sometimes I'll do the opposite. Stretching, anything stretching is good, especially if you're sitting all the time, like you're saying, CJ.
mhm,
It's good. You could use your desk to do, put your arms on and just extend your butt,
mhm.
out to traction your back is very helpful. You could use a wall for a wall squat, which is something I like. And you can actually get a pretty good workout just doing something as simple as a wall squat. If you don't know what that is, it's just basically sliding, putting your back and butt in the wall and
Yep,
sliding down to 90 degrees.
yep, I'm aware of that one. You actually you're describing some things I've done off and on. So keep
Yeah.
going.
But I mean, any form of stretching to me is great because I think stretching is one of the things that's overlooked by most people.
Mhm,
And you'll find as we age, which everybody is, regardless of your age, we're all aging it. So
mhm,
stretching is very important, just to keep everything limber and moving and stuff like that. So, I'm a big proponent of, you could do that just standing waiting for an elevator. I mean, sometimes literally that's what I'll do, or I'll even use a wall. It's good to just put your arm up on a wall and stretch out your lats, this area over here.
mhm.
Balancing. Sometimes I'll do when waiting for something, I'll stand on one foot and put the other foot behind me, stretch so it's getting a quad stretch in the front of the quad and balancing at the same time. Balance is something that's key as you're getting older.
Indeed, it is. And I like that Robert is a fountain of information on this topic. All right.
I've only started, trust me.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
don't
It's
want to take up the whole thing here, but yes, it's something I actively do and I definitely believe in.
yeah, but
Why
balance is
is a
really
wall
important.
squat?
So, go ahead,
Why is
Paul.
a wall squat different from a regular squat?
Because you're supporting your back
Mhm,
and because you're putting your back sometimes squatting it takes some of the pressure off of the kneecap. So personally I actually have both of my knees are bad for probably five reasons in each one.
mhm,
uh, and I'm currently in physical therapy for my knees. So, which I actually enjoy the process of that. But anyway, it takes the pressure off of your lower back by leaning on the wall. So if you have a back issue, you're not going to strain your back. If you have a knee issue, but because you're leaning on the wall, it takes a certain degree of the pressure off of your kneecap, which is also going to be very helpful. But you'll still get if you hold it there, if you go into just a 90-degree squat with your back on the wall and hold it for 30 seconds, you're going to start to feel it burn. And then you do that in repetitions. It doesn't, you could do that any place. There's no place that doesn't have a wall.
mhm,
Like,
Right.
so anyway,
Yeah,
that's why
that's
it's
an
effective.
exercise we used to do preparing for skiing.
mhm.
That one, leaning against the wall at 90 with your knees at 90 degrees, holding it
Yep.
for as
Yeah.
long as you can.
I was doing a HIIT workout, high intensity interval training, that had that move in it for 30 seconds. That's the first time I'd seen it. That was probably 5 or 6 years ago. And then I've seen it pop up in some other workouts I've done. Speaking of workouts, I shared earlier, but I'd started the military calisthenics workout, and then I got a message that my next payment is due $38.95. I'm like, what? I don't want to pay that much. It's more than what the gym costs. So
Is that per
I
month?
yeah, and so I spent some time online. I tried to reassemble the workout through some free options. So anyway, I was just telling you, I bailed on that because I didn't want to pay for it. But the workout was pretty good for the month I did it. And if you're
Was
interested
it
in that,
just kind of like were they just giving you the exercises to do, or were you actually doing them like on camera with other people at the same time?
mostly the latter. I was following along with somebody who's doing the exercises same time, same amount of time. A minute per 10 seconds for rest, so about 50 seconds each. Usually
Was it
20
live or was
The
it recorded?
is recorded.
Okay.
the stuff online is so crazy expensive. It's like once they do it, they could do it for, $2 a month and they get 10,000 people doing it. They still make a ton of money, but they go for the throat. And it's a lot of
Yeah,
people like you and me. I'm saying, what are you kidding me? $40? I don't think so.
I'd have done it for 20, 25 maybe, but 40, that's just too much.
Yeah, the sweet spot
Uh,
is really more like
I was gonna
1995
say
Yeah.
15 or something. Yeah.
because
Yeah.
or even $15. It gets to there's a certain point that people don't really pay attention to that much.
Hmm.
So they which
Yeah.
is why
And the thing is, if you have it cheap enough, they'll keep paying it even if they stop doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
thing. They'll forget about it and then
exactly.
Yeah.
auto draft or
That's
whatever.
and
So
since it's recorded, it's nothing to them. It's I mean, that's just, passive income.
Yeah,
yeah, exactly. They already did the work.
that's true. Anyway,
so this is
somebody
So
another
let me ask,
workout snack, CJ.
okay.
You you know about these little simple resistance bands?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Explain how you use it though, for people who aren't.
Well, yeah, so there's a lot of ways. So these are very simple resistance bands. As you can see, for anybody who doesn't know, it's a loop.
Hmm.
It's just a very simple loop. This particular one happens to be labeled as heavy. I don't know if it's in reverse here on the camera, but anyway, they
Yeah, you can
come in
see it.
different intensities. So you can use these a lot like around above your knees or at your ankles. And you could do a lot of exercises as simple as if you wrap this around your two ankles, and now your ankles, I mean, this one's pretty hard to pull apart. Your ankles are now sort of like locked together. If you do a side step, meaning just w keep walking to your left, step by step by step, and then go to your right eventually, you'll be shocked how much you feel this in just walking back and forth. The same thing with just even putting it around your above your knees and having your knees go in and out. It's going to build up, your inner and outer, thighs and hip muscles, which is very important. You could actually put it under your foot and do a bicep curl with it. I mean, there's a lot you could do with this, and you could just carry it in your pocket, or you could use it at home. I just have it literally right next to the desk here.
Hmm.
So anyway, it's just kind of a fun little thing. It doesn't take up any space or weight.
Yeah, I've got a band as well. It's quite a bit longer and stronger than that, but that's a good idea.
Oh yeah, those skinny ones that are long.
Yeah,
Yeah, those are great.
I've
Those are
broken a few things like that in my past, but I like bands. All right.
so I have a
Any
question.
okay.
Um, I started doing, I guess, what we used to call calisthenics, just exercises, a bunch of exercises I got online
Hmm.
every day for like a half hour to get my cardio up,
Hmm.
great.
get up to 120, 130. Are you supposed to do it? I try to do it like 6 days a week, but are you supposed to do it every day or are you supposed to do it like every other day? Like, it's confusing, the stuff I read. They say, do different exercises different days or take a rest day or
That's a good question.
anybody know?
I could jump in there if you like, CJ.
For general resistance training, I would say every other day. But for calisthenics type stuff, sometimes they have like one day that's more cardio, and the next day is more resistance, and so they sort of do that. They take care of that for you. But go ahead, Robert.
Well, no, I mean, what you're saying is certainly correct. But I mean, cardio is something you can do every day. In terms of mixing it up, it is better to mix up. It's kind of called there's a term called the confusion principle. If you
Mm,
do the same exercise every day, so let's just say you're doing jumping jacks, as a calisthenic example, you're moving the same muscles in the same direction every day. So are you getting a benefit? Yes, but you're also not working out a muscle group differently because you're hitting it in the exact same way every time. So if you instead just mix that up and instead of doing, a jumping jack with your arms up, even if you're doing running in place, your arms are now moving in a different direction. So you're still getting cardio, but you're slightly working your upper body different. It's the same. There's an exercise that's called, it's basically invisible jump roping. So you don't actually have a rope, which is the beauty of it. You can't
mhm.
trip and you can do it anywhere. You just simulate as if you're jumping rope, and you'll definitely get a good, cardio workout out of that. So I think, there's a couple of things you could do every day when it comes to exercises, and that's cardio, but it is good to mix it up. And then abs, and ab exercises, which are also good to mix up. It's the one body part that you can exercise every day if you wanted to.
All right.
Okay. I don't really know what abs are.
That's
I
it's your
mean,
muscle. It's the muscles in your stomach,
Abdominal muscles.
abdominal muscles, and what makes them so important. It's not just because it's for the stomach, but the stomach muscles are what are supporting the back muscles. So a lot of people have back pain, and a lot of times you have back pain because either your it could start at your feet or your ankles, but also if you have stronger abdominal muscles, it'll help support your back, which is,
well,
important.
yeah, I don't do any jumping things because I have one artificial knee and the other one I had operated on a long time ago. But I do a lot of it's mostly leg stuff. You know, um, put your elbows out to your side and then bring your knees up to touch your elbows and then do it
Yep.
across each other and then squats and lift your leg and clap your hands underneath your leg alternately. And I thought that was for your stomach, but I've been
Yes.
doing it over a year and my stomach isn't any smaller or tighter.
Mm,
So I don't know.
Well, it's not going to make your stomach smaller, by the way, necessarily. The only thing that's really, really going to make your stomach smaller is nutrition.
mhm,
Nutrition and diet. What happens with stomach muscles, any muscles actually, the muscles are underneath layers of our fat. And in order to actually see them, you'd have to actually get rid of the extra layers. You'd have to diet down is the bottom line you know. So, but that doesn't mean the muscles aren't there just because you can't see them. Or you may not be doing the exercise correctly if you're not getting results. That could be the other thing because the exercise you're describing of your elbow coming down to your knee. So it sounds like you're standing up and one leg is coming up and crossing your body, and then you're putting your knee up to the opposite elbow. Is that right?
Exactly.
Yeah, so you
yeah,
have to
very
blow
good.
out your air and you have to crunch down. You have to focus on the muscle that you're working out. So if you're working out the abs, abdominals, you have to focus on it. You have to squeeze it because you should actually be able to isometrically, meaning without doing any lifting or exercise, you should isometrically, with your own mind, control your stomach to have it squeeze.
Right.
Just like you can squeeze your hand, you could
Yeah,
squeeze
yeah.
your stomach. So you should be doing that while you're doing any movement and exercise. You actually want to tighten your core. It's called your core. That's just a sort of a slang word for your abdominal section, the core
Okay.
middle of your body. You should you should tighten your core muscles for any exercise you're doing before you start the movement, whatever it is. If it's a chest press, if you're just lifting up a bag of groceries, actually, you want to learn how to squat down properly just to lift up, a grandkid or a kid. You want to bend your knees properly, tighten your core, and then lift up. It's all biomechanics.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah, I had
Thank
a
you.
thanks. Yeah, I had a injury playing basketball 10 years ago, and they taught me that in physical therapy, using your core for all activities of daily living.
Correct.
And when I started doing that, it took away my lower back pain almost entirely.
Yeah, that's it. Most people don't think about it. So if you start to think about it for anything you're doing, any
Hmm.
movement you're doing, especially anything involving, lifting. You go on an airplane, you're putting a suitcase overhead.
Yeah,
You're lifting something. You know,
yeah. But I didn't really learn that till I was about 50. So
hey, at least you
Yeah,
learned it.
at least I
Some
did.
people never learn it.
Yeah.
yeah. I learned how to lift a long time ago. I always
Mm,
do that with lift with my legs.
mm. Well, that I knew, but engaging your core is what they told me on all of life's daily activities, like Robert was talking about. That's the one thing I didn't really think of or know. So um, I was glad to. That was really helpful once I learned that. Okay, anything else on exercise and nutrition? All right. Well, there's another thing that occurred here in Thailand that I don't know if it's something we can really talk about, but I thought it was interesting. It's a total change of subject. The princess of this country, the king's eldest daughter, I think, is 47. She passed away yesterday,
Ooh.
and my
Wow.
girlfriend was like really upset about it. So she'd been in a coma for 3 years, some kind of cardio
Sad.
infection or something like that. So very sad. But I couldn't really think of anyone in my family who'd passed away that young. Though, did we lose Craig? Huh. Okay. He and I were talking about this.
We
Um, so I'm not sure where I'm going with this, what point I'm trying to make, but I just thought this was, I mean, something in the news here that was interesting. And what do you do when you lose someone that young? How does it affect you? Uh, anyway,
Yeah,
anybody have
it's.
anything to say about this kind of thing?
I lost a niece that was
Um,
young.
Hmm.
Um, not. I think she was just 30,
That's really
not
young.
quite 30. Yeah. I know her mom is still traumatized. Still working through the trauma of it. Um, and that was her youngest. So,
Hmm.
um, yeah, I don't. I think that's one of those things that never goes away. We have good friends that they lost their 2-year-old. It was an accidental back over.
Oh
Um,
my.
ooh,
yeah, that's something I think that never goes away. You just have a hole in your heart forever.
Yeah, when it's children, I had read a long time ago, there's something like a nearly 100% divorce rate. Marriages
Yeah.
just don't survive that kind of thing. Um, but I just tried to think if something happened to my daughter. Yeah, that would be awful.
Yeah,
And how do you move on from that? I don't know.
it's a hard thing to move on to. Yeah, I have a son will be 43 tomorrow,
Hmm.
and you know, you think about that as parents. Sometimes he's done some things which weren't always turning out so great. And you kind of know when you get these phone calls, like at a weird hour
Yeah.
from your kid, like, oh, this can't be good.
Yeah, there's no good news after midnight. So,
So,
Yeah.
but anyway, yeah. So no parent wants to obviously outlive their kid. That happened to
mm,
me when I was about 18. My best male friend at the time, he passed away very, very quickly from
mm,
a head tumor that started small and quickly got huge, and that was it. I mean, I think the whole thing was maybe 6 months from beginning to end, and that was devastating. I mean, to say the least, on every level. But his parents, they didn't split up, but they never bounced back from. I mean, there was that cloud over them for the rest of their lives, and it just so happened that when I moved out to California from New York, where I'm from, which was maybe I'm trying to think, it was, let's say, 10 years after he had passed away, and they had relocated, I think maybe to get away from even the fact that even was where they were living. I don't know, but they had they put me up in their apartment for maybe the first week that I was in LA. I didn't have a place to stay, so they put me up. Anyway, they had moved all of his room as it was in New York, but out to Los Angeles, and that was kind of the room I was
Ooh.
staying in. They moved it out, basically as a shrine or memorial to their son because they just, I guess that was the only connection really they had to him at that point was the furniture from his room. So they never even remotely got over, the depression of that.
mm,
I don't know if it was good or bad for them that I was there because it kind of reminded them of what their son would have been, going through at that point in time. I mean, I don't know what was going on in their head, but I think it was probably like they were probably glad to see me, but on the other hand, um, like, oh, this could have been our son here, you know.
mm.
Strong reminder.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not sure if there's much more we can add to that. A couple weeks ago, we decided to not record the second half or second part of this Zoom call so we could talk about more, you know, serious or personal issues, and we'd be more free to talk about such things if the internet wasn't preserving it forever. So, um, anybody have anything they want to chat about generally before we end the recording and move on to that portion of the Zoom? Okay.
Well,
I'll
Nope.
hmm.
I'll stop it here, and if you're watching on the recording, we'd rather see you live. But yeah, Thursday night, 7 p.m. Pacific. We've been pretty consistent the last couple months, so love to see you. All right, take care.